everybody's using things like Copilot or ChatGPT or something like that, and doing summarization. The next generation of this technology is what's called agentic systems. And those are things that go away. You tell them what to do, and they will go away and do the work for you. So you won't have to instruct it. You say, I want to do due diligence on telco market in India in terms of an application of technology. It will go away. It will go and research it for you. It will produce you output. It will produce you research reports. It will produce analysis, etc. for you without intervening. Now, one of the things that's happening is this human in the loop or human over the loop will still happen. But, within 2-3 years, it'll be automated completely.
Hi guys. So today I'm honored to be speaking with Mr. Alpesh Doshi, Managing Partner at Redcliffe Capital. Right? At Redcliffe Capital, he takes care of capital raising activities for new age tech companies, and they also help them basically build the product that they want for the customers. Right? Thanks, Alpesh, for being with us here. If you can just throw some lights on your background and your entire journey into the investment banking industry and the AI market that you're basically working on.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm Alpesh Doshi. I live in London. I've grown up here. I was born in Kenya. My background is in technology and in financial services. So I started my career working in technology mainly in banking and financial services. So, I've had a career working in banks like Barclays and UBS and NatWest, RBS. And most of my work there was in technology, but then, back 15 years ago, DJ, Dheeraj Jain and I founded, and one other person, Anish Verma, we founded Redcliffe Capital because we saw the huge opportunity around technology and investment in technology back then. And so that's how we started off. And I've always loved technology. I'm a technologist by background. And as I'm sure everybody knows, the impact of technology has been phenomenal, and honestly the impact of AI technology is going to be even bigger than the previous technology wave. And so what we're doing now is we build and invest in AI first companies.
Wow, fantastic. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. So basically, how do you see this AI, the entire AI thing, impact our day-to-day life and our work? Especially in the last couple of months, we have seen a huge surge into that particular industry, and it has basically disrupted up to a certain point all our daily activities, especially at a workplace, at a personal level. How do you see this thing shaping?
AI is going to impact every industry, every work, every department in every business, right? From an investment banking perspective, if you imagine, obviously know about the life cycle of investment banking, there's a whole bunch of research work. Well, you can use AI to automate all of that. Most of the data is available publicly. You can build financial models. You can do the research and analysis and due diligence all automatically with AI. So every single part of an investment bank and the function investment bank is going to change with AI, eventually. And the reality is, to be honest, most firms are just very slow at changing. They just don't want to change. The last 3 years since ChatGPT came and was released to the public, the amount of change has been large, but actually fundamentally businesses have not changed yet. What we see happening is we see the transformation of every single company, every single process around leveraging AI, moving from chatbots, because what's really been happening in the last 2-3 years is just everybody's using things like Copilot or ChatGPT or something like that, and doing summarization. The next generation of this technology is what's called agentic and agentic systems. And those are things that go away. You tell them what to do, and they will go away and do the work for you. So you won't have to instruct it. You say, I want to do due diligence on telco market in India in terms of an application of technology. It will go away. It will go and research it for you. It will produce you output. It will produce you research reports. It will produce analysis, etc. for you without intervening. Now, one of the things that's happening is this human in the loop or human over the loop will still happen. But within 2-3 years, it'll be automated completely. So and that applies to every industry, every role in almost every company. Look, it's not going to happen with hairdressers or plumbers or those kind of guys, obviously, because a plumber does physical work. But anywhere where it's an information business or a people business involves moving data around, absolutely there's going to be massive transformation.
Fantastic. So can we talk about the product that you are working on at Kendra Labs, Alpesh, about the entire AI?
So the thing for me is because every business is going to change, one of the biggest challenges is, well, how do you build the infrastructure, the tooling, and the platforms on which you can run the things that you want to do? The use case I described to you earlier, what you will have is a bunch of agents running. So if you talk about any organization, so I was dealing with a really large exchange the other day. They've got 25,000 people. To be able to transition that with all the tool, the technology, the governance, the security, the policies, and the software to run it, and that organization will probably have 5,000 agents running across all of their business eventually. You need to build the tooling, the software, the infrastructure to do that. So any business that's building today as a startup needs to think about how they're going to do it. So instead of hiring 2 finance people or 5 salespeople or 3 marketing people, you will probably need one of those people, and they'll have a suite of agents that they'll use to run that function. So fundamentally, it's going to change, and therefore you need technology to run it all. You need the data. Data is a big part of that. You've got to get the data together, sort out the data, your data, and use that. And there's a lot of work around data, getting that fixed. And then there's proper governance. So if you're in a financial services institution, there's a lot of challenges around governance, compliance, and provability and explainability. You've got to build that. Firms need to have that kind of stuff. So what you need is a fundamental platform or platforms to be able to do those things, to be able to then run agentic systems and have an agentic business.
Correct. So, Alpesh, considering the geopolitical issues and especially what we're actually going through in the Middle East right now, how do you see the next 12 months shaping in this entire industry?
Which industry? The investment banking or technology or AI?
Investment banking industry, AI.
Yeah, I mean, what I've seen is, to be honest, most of the firms that I'm dealing with at the moment in the financial services market are starting to wake up about AI. So if you look at JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon has basically committed to use AI across everything. But, JP Morgan is humongous. It's a humongous organization. To get them to change and transform is going to take years for them. And that applies to every single firm, Bank of America, Goldman. They're all going to use AI. They're all going to transform. But what I've seen this year in 2026, this is March 2026, is that they're starting to wake up that, we've got to do this because it's happening and we've got to do something about it. So what I've seen is, to be honest, most firms, not just in financial services in general, have been given lip service to it and say, yeah, we need to do AI, we need to do AI, but not really investing and looking at the impact this will be. And this year I've seen it, budgets have opened up. Firms are now thinking about it because they're seeing other firms do it and they realize, we've got to do this. Yeah. So what I'm seeing is that, and that applies to every industry. It is not just in financial services and investment banking and capital markets. It's in every industry.
So, Alpesh, as you have spent so many years, in this financial services market and industries, right, at your early stage in the career, and especially if you would have noticed that in the last couple of years, there's a huge surge in the youngsters where they're very, very inclined into the investment banking industry, and especially the financial services markets and corporate finance. I personally got inclined towards this market in the last 3-4 years, right? So what advice would you give them if they basically plan to start their career in this entire industry?
Yeah, I think in Europe, in the UK, and in the US actually, there's been a massive impact on young people not getting employed by every company in every industry. To be honest, I think most of these companies are using AI as an excuse not to hire people. They've done no AI. Honestly, most of these firms have done very little AI. What they're saying is, oh, we're not hiring people because we're using, you know, a bit early roles, you know, graduate roles and early roles are taken up by AI. If you go in and actually look in their organization, that's not there. So what's happening is that they're using that as an excuse because their firms are not hiring because the business is well, the economy isn't doing well, and therefore they're not hiring. But the reality is, younger people, you know, what I would be doing in every single young people, and in the UK right now, there are 900,000 18 to 24-year-olds without jobs.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's like I think in India is very similar, right? In the US, it's very. What I would be saying to every single individual is you need to go and learn about AI. Go and learn about AI as deeply as possible and apply it and use it yourself. And that will put you ahead of everybody else. So don't think, you know, what people do. And I deal with young people and, you know, hiring people as well. The reality is AI is going to be part of your job. It's going to happen. It's very early. So the people who understand AI, not just cursory like using using chatbots, because that's what everybody's doing, but it's really understanding how your job, the job that you want to do, is going to be impacted by AI, and go and learn AI in the job that you want to do. And let's be honest, you can use AI to help you. You can go and say, look, I want to do an investment banking job. This is what I want to do. Train me on how my job is going to change and the skills I need to learn.
Correct.
Right. And it will tell you, and then ask it to create a course for you, and go and it will then train you. It'll then train you itself. You can then learn about it. So you've got to, you know, every single person has had to be proactive and use AI to learn about AI and learn the skills and apply them and do it yourself. I think, you know, not sitting and going, I've got a job, I'm going to apply for 1,000 jobs and I'm not getting any jobs. I'm like, well, okay, go and learn about this. Demonstrate what you can do, and you will get a way better chance of getting a job. Way better chance.
So basically, this is not really going to take away your job, but rather it is going to act as a support system and boost your entire productivity at the workplace.
It will. So it will eliminate a lot of the jobs. Absolutely. So a lot of the things
it'll basically upskill you or probably help move you to a different direction.
Yeah, so if you imagine investment banking, one of the things that you get graduates and your young people to do is do due diligence. The due diligence work is literally you're going through a company's documents and you spend days and weeks doing the analysis by hand, and you read the documents and you do the analysis, right? You can do that in a fraction of the time, but you still need skill to understand how to do the extraction of the documents and what to look for and how to extract it and how can AI help me do that. So you still need skill. You still need skill. Now, the reality is that you're going to need fewer people, right? If you had 10 people doing DD, you only need 3 people to do DD. You don't need 10. You could do it with 3. And you could do it instead of 3 months on a reasonably sized M&A transaction.
Yeah.
Right? 6 months on an M&A transaction, you can do it in 8 weeks, 9 weeks, right? So just the nature of how you go and do the activity is going to change. And if you know, it's not just about saying, well, just stick in a chat GPT or some kind of chat and it'll give you an answer. You really have to understand the business. You have to understand the DD pieces. You have to understand the process. You have to understand the data. You still have to have that understanding when you're doing DD. And that doesn't go away, right? But the good thing is the AI will help you. The AI will help you. I want to do DD on this topic. Tell me what I should do. And this is where the IP at the bank or whatever firm can apply their expertise, their knowledge, their policies, their strategies to doing the analysis, for example, right? And that's where the IP comes.
Correct. At Redcliffe Capital, I mean, which tech companies are you, I think, helping more towards AI tech companies that you're planning to build them and then give them the market?
So the thesis is AI first companies. And as I mentioned before, it's about that almost every single firm is going to have to be an AI first firm, right? So take an industry in healthcare. You know, we've got joint ventures coming up in healthcare, where it's an AI first clinical research organization, a CRO.
Correct.
So traditional CRO businesses have armies of people analyzing data, costs a lot of money. In this context, you can do it at a fraction of the cost, make it way more efficient, and change a business model. one of the other things we're working on, and it's moving along, it's still a bit slow, but we're building a private bank and wealth management firm. So we're building the world's first AI first private bank and wealth management firm. Private banking, wealth management hasn't changed in 300 years. The way you do it fundamentally is still the same. So what we're doing is taking the AI first principles and the technology and reinventing the business model and the operating model and how an AI first private bank and wealth management firm will work.
Makes sense. But do you think this is basically going to impact every single industry that we are actually working in? There's no industry that can basically be left behind.
Look, plumbers, no, right? You're still going to need plumbers to go out and fix your house. You're still going to need anybody, hairdressers, those kind of people on the actual skilled work they do, no. And the back office of these firms, absolutely.
Don't you think, like, as you mentioned, like hairdressers or maybe say interior designing company or, a real estate company, they still require a certain amount of AI to that will also basically get disrupted in their entire process of building things?
I'm dealing with a private equity firm at the moment. That has 3 billion of assets, resi and commercial assets, real estate assets. They've got how many people? 50, 60 people in the business. So they're looking to apply AI across every part of their business and in their portcos as well. Right? But one of the first things that they need to do, and we suggested they do, is training and education of every single person in the business about AI.
Correct. If they don't know how to use it, then who will use it?
Well, they need to, because one of the biggest shifts that's happening is the way of working.
Yeah, exactly.
The way of working, the way of thinking, the actual work you do day to day will change, and every individual's job and how they work will change because it will use AI for almost every piece of everything they do.
Right. That's interesting. Thank you, Alpesh. I think this is something that was very interesting. And especially with this AI thing coming into the picture, I personally learned a lot about this, right? So, yeah.